back to my channel. My name is Drea. If you are new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my 10 things I wish I would have known earlier and things that I could have avoided that would have saved me a lot of headaches, a lot of insecurities, a lot of time, and could have just helped me have a better mindset and just a more positive outlook on like my transformation period. So a little background story in case you're not familiar with it. I have been struggling with my weight since I can remember, for at least like 15 years of my life. And this is not me exaggerating, I'm 25, but like since I was 10, even younger than that, I remember just being really self-conscious and insecure. And I went to an all-girls school. And so imagine just seeing like girls all day in their tiny little mini skirts and skinny. And I was just like, not that. And it really made me have like an unhealthy relationship with food growing up. I also didn't play that many sports growing up, so I wasn't super familiar with being active until I moved to the US and I was able to be outdoors more. I would walk to school, bike, and then I actually started getting into working out. And then it went from there. To be honest, it's still like a work in progress. I feel like I have my ups and downs. I have my times where I'm feeling really good. And then there's times where I kind of just like hit little bumps on the road. Remember, everyone's journey is different. We all have our different struggles. I think that it's just important to be mindful of that whenever we talk about anything that has to do with nutrition, weight loss, and fitness. So with that being said, that would actually be my number one tip. Don't try to mimic what other people are doing and what is working for other people. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's circumstances are different. We all have different body compositions, genetics, hormones, and we also have different daily expenditures. So some people might be at home just sitting down on the computer, while somebody else that lives a really active lifestyle, maybe you're a waitress and you're running around all day, just burning a lot more calories throughout your day, you are going to need to consume more calories. So it's definitely not just like a one size fits all, and it's important to take your own body into consideration, your body shape. It really just depends on the person and what works for you. So definitely just keep that in mind throughout your journey. Tip number 2 would be to not worry about where you are in comparison to other people. Everybody had to start somewhere, so just start wherever you are. I feel like the hardest part is just getting started, but if you can break through that, I think it's like you already made the biggest step. I know you say you hate working out, but the moment that you step in there and you start to see results, you start to feel good, you're gonna start loving it. And that is when the transformation really starts to happen, because your workouts are no longer sacrifices, like they are something that becomes a part of your day. So just because you go to the gym and you see people that are already super fit and lean and they're lifting really heavy weight, don't be intimidated by that. I know it's easier said than done. Don't worry about what you think people are going to say. Just go in there. And I promise it's not as bad as you think it is. Third thing I wish I knew before starting my journey would be to educate myself about fitness, muscle building, and nutrition. So when I first started, I was eating healthy, but what I thought was healthy. So I would really just recommend becoming more knowledgeable about what macros are, how many macros you should be consuming, how many calories you should be consuming. And this isn't to say like you need to count your calories. If you've counted your calories in the beginning of your journey and you kind of have a good idea of how much you should be eating, what your portion sizes should be, what works for you, if it's high carb, low fat, high carb, figure that out, and then you'll have a much easier time manipulating your eating habits, having flexible dieting, and also your workouts. Now it's so easy for us to learn. Like there's tons of podcasts, books, YouTube videos that you can watch and just educate yourself. Like if you don't know what your macros are, learn which ones are good ones. You can literally type into Google anything, like what are good protein sources, what are good carbohydrates, and you can learn so much from the internet. Like we have endless information right at our fingertips. So another thing that is also really important to become knowledgeable about is building muscle, because if your goal is to build muscle, get stronger, build your glutes, your quads, you have to be at a calorie surplus to build muscle. So a lot of people expect their glutes to grow, but they're eating like 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, when that is just putting your body at a caloric deficit. So you're not going to be able to put on muscle if you're eating less calories than you're burning. There are no shortcuts that are sustainable in the long term. You can take all these diet pills, do all the juice detox, you can do it all, and I promise you there's nothing that is going to be sustainable for a long period of time that is actually healthy and good for you, other than just eating nutrient dense foods that are going to fuel your body and that are going to allow allow it to just perform at its maximum potential. Tip number 4 would be that lifting heavier is not going to give you faster or better results. Progressive overload is what's going to give you that nice, lean, built muscle, but you have to build up to it. I remember when I first started my journey, I always had pretty dominant quads, so I could go straight into a leg session and lift so much weight, doing a lot of damage to my knees, my hips, my back, and it's just not the way to go. Don't try to impress anybody by doing more weight or try to prove anything. Start off slow and just build up progressively, because if not, you are going to get injured. You are never going to perfect your form. You're not going to achieve that muscle to mind connection that is so important. I have honestly gotten even better results sometimes from doing lighter weight, focusing on my form, and I have been more sore from doing that at a very high rep count and low weight than when I just do like 5 reps at really heavy weight. So don't think that lifting heavier is better. Progressive overload, build up to it and just change things up. My number 5 would be that spot reducing is not a thing. If somebody tells you that this specific workout or exercise is going to make your waist tiny and your butt huge, that is not possible. You can't reduce fat in just one specific spot. You can definitely build muscle in one area or another to create the illusion that you have a smaller waist. For example, if you build your lats and your upper body and then you build your glutes and your legs, obviously your waist is going to look smaller. If you lose weight, you're going to lose weight all over your body. We all have specific areas where we hold more weight, especially women, but just remember that it always goes back to genetics. So if you have a very like squared body and you want more curves, it's not about reducing your waist size. It's going to be about building your glutes and your legs and building your upper body to create a more hourglass figure if that's what you're going for. Tip number 6 would be to set realistic goals for yourself. So I do this all the time and I suck at it. We all just want to see results fast. We want to lose weight. We get in this period of like new year, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to grow my butt. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then it's like, okay, but this has been 20 years of your life, 25 years of your life, 30 years that you have been eating this way, and that you have built up all these bad eating habits or not working out, living an unhealthy lifestyle, and then out of nowhere, you want to cut everything out and just lose 10 pounds. Your body's not going to react like that. So you definitely have to do it progressively. I feel like it's much easier to start cutting things little by little. So one week, let's say you cut sugars or you cut it down to like the weekend, and then you get rid of alcohol or you limit alcohol to once a week, or it all depends on how many times you're drinking, how many times you're eating. So find what is realistic for you and set a date and just stick to that. But make sure that it actually in your head, you're like, okay, this is realistic and it's attainable, because if not, you're not going to be able to stick to it. Because if you say I'm going to lose 10 pounds in the next month, most likely you're not. So by the time you hit the second week, you're going to be like so discouraged because maybe you only lost 2 pounds, because that would be the healthy amount of pounds to lose for like the average person. You start to get discouraged and then you just say, I'm done. If you're going back and forth, sit down and really ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing and why you want to achieve these certain goals. Then set that and be like, okay, I'm going to do this because I am uncomfortable in my clothes, because I am insecure, or I don't feel comfortable in my skin. Find the reason why, and then it'll be a lot easier to stick to it. Because if you don't have a why, then there's no purpose in you doing it. Number 7 would be that lifting heavy weights is not going to make you bulky, or lifting weights in general. So the idea that we have that we're gonna look like bodybuilders and have these massive biceps, it's not true. If you follow a flexible diet but with good eating habits and you work out, you're not gonna get bulky. I've been through this myself. When I was actually my leanest and the best I think I've ever looked, I was actually lifting the heaviest I ever have, and I was stronger than I am now. Just being stronger and lifting heavier is not going to make you bulky. If anything, it'll make you look a lot more toned, more defined, and leaner, and just accentuate your body shape more. Number 8 would be to not weigh yourself. And I feel like I've said this on my channel so many times. I think that weighing yourself is good if you're just trying to get an idea of where you are at, and if you're going to be doing a very cardio-based weight loss. I think that it's good in that sense. But if you're going to be incorporating any type of resistance or strength training, I wouldn't suggest weighing yourself because you're most likely going to put on muscle if you are eating healthy and working out. And that muscle is going to weigh more than the fat that you're losing. So it's going to seem like you're not losing any weight when you are, but you're just replacing it with muscle mass. Number 9 would be that if you have been on a restrictive diet for a long period of time, you're most likely under eating. So if you're looking to start your journey, or maybe you have no idea what you're doing, it would be a good time to learn about your macros. And I would recommend counting your calories, at least in the beginning of your journey. So when I first started, I had no idea what portions look like. Like when I actually started weighing out a portion of salmon, I was like, this thing, it was like a little piece like this. I usually would eat a piece like this. So no wonder I was gaining weight, because my portion size was much bigger than what I was supposed to be eating. So counting your calories is going to give you a good idea of portions and what you should be consuming. And then after that, once you get the hang of it and you know what foods work for you, you really don't have to count your calories every single day. I know I definitely don't. There are so many ways of doing this. I think the easiest way is going through MyFitnessPal. You can find any food on there. You can scan barcodes. You can put your portion size, your servings, and you can also choose how many calories and grams of each macro you want to consume, and it'll make it really easy for you. If you have no idea what your calorie intake is, there's also many websites that you can use from Google that will help you find a rough estimate of what you should be consuming a day, depending on your activity levels and your body weight, your age, your gender. Of course, if you have a better way of finding this out, like an InBody analysis test or a nutritionist, definitely go that route. But if not, you want a free way of doing it, that's a really good one. And then you can use MyFitnessPal, which is free. Count your calories until you have a good idea of what your portions look like and what you should be consuming. And then my tip number 10 would be to not get discouraged when you don't see results, or your results start to slow down, or you hit a plateau, or you feel like you're kind of stuck. This is super normal. I've experienced it a million times myself. And think about it. When you're first starting off, let's say you haven't worked out in years and you start working out and you start eating healthier. So your bodies are like, whoa. And obviously it's going to start to make change, and the change is going to be really big because you have either a lot of weight to lose, or it's such a big shock to the body that your body's just going to respond right away. You see this with people that are much heavier, and they literally just go for a walk and they start to lose weight because their body's not used to it. So because you see like tremendous change in the beginning and then it starts to slow down, don't think that you're doing anything wrong. You're on the right path, but it doesn't mean that you're not getting better. This is why pictures and measurements are really important. You can put your pictures side by side and you're gonna be like, wow, I really do see the change. But don't be discouraged. If anything, it just means that there's less work to be done. So obviously the changes are gonna be smaller and the transformation seems slower, but you're still going towards those goals. Hopefully you're able to take something from this video. This has been honestly such a journey for me and such a struggle. I know it's really, really hard, and I feel you. If you are hesitant about starting, I promise you, you won't regret it. And if it did help you in any way, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It helps me out so much. Any info that I think will be helpful or that I mentioned in this video, I will leave in the description box below for you guys to check out. If you have any issues that you want to talk to me privately, make sure to click on my Instagram and DM me. I'm constantly answering back to messages. If I take a little bit of time, don't worry, I will get to you. Just send me a message. I get so many sweet messages from you guys, and I try to get back to all of them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your journey. I know it can be hard, but it's so worth it. And until next time, I will see you guys later.